or of Maria Goretti, whose gruesome death at only 11 years of age helped make her a saint. And then there have been saints at the other end, Paul and Augustine among them, who had tumultuous and sinful early lives and later became saintly. The wide variety of saints gives us each a model for growing in spirituality. Saint Simeon Stylites, from the 5th century, is a famous saint who for 39 years sat atop a pillar in Syria. And I suspect that there are few among us, or frankly few anywhere, who are going to follow his example. But St. John DeMatha has always struck me as a saint that we can aspire to be like. John DeMatha was a scholar and a teacher, and though the depth of his intellect and the depth of his faith are difficult for us to comprehend and imitate, his commitment to acting out that faith in the world is easily recognized, and each of us is capable of imitating him at a level appropriate to us. One thinks of John's devotion to freedom. From the vision at his first Mass of Jesus standing between a black man and a white man with a set of broken chains in his hands, John DeMatha's legacy has led to some of the most remarkable stories of ransoming ever known. And we are the inheritors of that legacy. The Trinitarians are committed to our freedom. Freedom from ignorance, from poverty, from materialism, from secularism, from relativism, as well as the freedom to be wise, the freedom to be truthful, to be demanding of ourselves, to be forgiving of others. If we free ourselves and others from ignorance, poverty, materialism, relativism, then we are doing John DeMatha's work. Each year when we hear the gospel for this day and its exhortation to serve the hungry, the thirsty, the visitor or the foreigner, the naked, the ill, and the prisoner, we are taught again that we need not sit atop a pillar or demonstrate our holiness in some dramatic and visible way. In fact, we may be unaware that it is Jesus we are serving. In fact, when that gospel continues, the unjust ask Jesus about this. The implication being, had they only known that it was Jesus, then they would have behaved differently. But that's the point, isn't it? If you knew it was Jesus, you'd behave in a certain way. But John DeMatha's great gift to us is the reminder it's always Jesus. To see Jesus in the broken, in the poor, in the unjustly treated, in the outsider. How proud I am to be part of a community where we gather food for the less fortunate, toys for those who have little. We visit seniors with arts and crafts. We engage the developmentally disabled. We serve Jesus in all those ways. There is a teaching in the Talmud that says, whoever destroys a single life is as guilty as though he had destroyed the entire world. And whoever rescues a single life earns as much merit as though he had rescued the entire world. The Catholic Encyclopedia conservatively estimates that the Trinitarians have saved more than 140,000 lives. Who could calculate the work that these 140,000 went on to do, the lives they changed, the good they have done? John DeMatha and the Trinitarians are force multipliers for the good. And it was in the year 1198, on December the 17th, that Pope Innocent III officially recognized the Order of the Most Holy Trinity, Trinitarians, under the leadership of John DeMatha. Those of us who are sitting here 813 years later are the inheritors of a tradition that is fanatically, obsessively, heroically devoted to the creation of justice here on earth, to rescuing the entire world. And here are two brief stories of Trinitarians who saved others and thereby changed the world. In the 16th century, Mark Criado was already a famous Trinitarian preacher who dedicated himself to advancing the cause of religious freedom. He ministered to Catholics and Christians in North Africa, who were forced to deny their own religions. For years, he moved among the Moriscos. Those were Christians who were forced to convert to Islam, until he was captured by a group of fanatics, tied to a tree, tortured for several days before he was stabbed to death. Mark Criado's willingness to serve others without counting the cost to himself is a distinguishing mark of the Trinitarian order. The brilliant preacher, St. Simon de Rojas, joined the Trinitarians at the age of 16. He became so famous for his preaching that the King of Spain, Philip III, asked him to become his spiritual counselor, to become the private teacher of his children, to become the confessor of his wife, Queen Isabel. Simon accepted, but he said, "I have 3 conditions. 1, I will receive no salary. 2, I will not be addressed as Most Reverend or any other honorific title. And 3, and this is most important, my service to the king and the court must not conflict with my service to the poor." The king did not want Simon to pick up some disease from the poor and transmit it to his family, but he was forced to give in when it became clear that Simon would not give up ministering to the poor. In 1611, 400 years ago, Simon de Rojas established an association to serve the poor that is still in existence today, feeding poor people and assisting the destitute. We are remarkably blessed. We have the models of Blessed Mark Criado, of St. Simon de Rojas, and all those Trinitarians who have joined us today. We have been taught by John DeMatha and those who follow him. He has seen Jesus in all of us, and now we go forth and become force multipliers for the good. Please join me in thanking the Trinitarians for their example, their charism, their history. Let's multiply the good they have done and continue to do as we carry their mission, which is our mission, forward. Thank you.